Folks, 2 years. Today marks the second day since Israel started its aggression there, and today, finally, a ceasefire has been achieved. There were 2 pauses before this, but this is supposedly a comprehensive ceasefire where it's been stated that the remaining phases will also be implemented. So Palestinians have finally achieved a major victory here. And what did Israel, America, the European Union, and NATO want? They wanted Hamas and the resistance to surrender. And if they didn't surrender, they were using every bit of force to crush them. And ultimately, what happened? All of them had to surrender to Hamas's demands. The brutality and barbarism that was used here, the way people were targeted, look, even the worst terrorist organizations probably couldn't reach this level. So in the most brutal way, civilians were targeted and everything related to life, even water wells, was destroyed. The thinking was that Palestinians couldn't withstand this level of barbarism and brutality and would completely surrender. Then they'd be pushed wherever they wanted, displaced, and Israel would transform into Greater Israel. Because it wasn't in their calculations that after all this massive barbarism, Palestinians would still be present, still confronting them, still inflicting losses on the Israeli army. So this is a humiliating defeat they're facing right now. And overall, this is humanity's victory. Look, human beings came forward, humanity came forward, and ultimately they succeeded in stopping this evil. So once again, it's been proven that evil comes, and when the world's people come out, they defeat it. So falsehood has been defeated here, and the world's people came out and saved humanity here. Folks, there are going to be many developments that will demonstrate this solid victory. Look at how Israel put all its effort into bringing back its prisoners. So they're not taking their prisoners back unilaterally, they're taking them with Hamas's signature. Number 1, and number 2, in exchange they have to release Palestinian prisoners, and they have to release top leadership. So an exchange deal happened. They couldn't just come and retrieve their prisoners unilaterally. Even Netanyahu, who wanted these prisoners to be killed inside Gaza, so there'd be no exchange deal. No agreement like this. So the way Hamas kept them alive is historic in itself. Celebrations are happening in Gaza right now. They're happening in the West Bank, and they're happening all over the world. Because this is humanity's victory. It's a victory of truth over falsehood. Now look at the biggest news coming in, which is a sign of solid victory for Palestine. Israel has been forced to release Marwan Barghouti. This is huge news. Marwan Barghouti, who's called the Nelson Mandela of Palestinians, who's been in Israeli prisons for decades. Recently, you must have seen Bengvar's videos where he went to Marwan Barghouti's cell, abused him, and showed him pictures of Gaza. Would they release Marwan Barghouti? Would they release these top Palestinian leaders? Tell me, what bigger defeat could there be? A small group fought for 2 years and is now taking back its prisoners, getting them released. So Marwan Barghouti, who Netanyahu and Bengvar said under no circumstances, whatever happens, the world can turn upside down. We will not release Marwan Barghouti. His release is happening. And not just Marwan Barghouti, but Ahmad Saada too. Ahmad Saada is also a huge name, leader of a major Palestinian faction, the Popular Liberation Front. He's been sentenced to life imprisonment 46 times. It's been over 2 decades, and he's in Israeli prisons. And there's another major leader who's been sentenced to life imprisonment 6 to 7 times. He's also in Israeli prisons. He's also being released. So Palestine's top leadership is being released right now. This is a massive defeat for Israel. Think about it. These are the solid developments the world is witnessing, showing who won and who lost. And what victory were they supposed to have? There's victory in war anyway. The armies didn't fight here. Russian and Ukrainian armies are fighting, right? So one will win, one will lose. Nothing like that happened here. So immediate preparations have started in Israeli prisons to release Palestinian prisoners. Just imagine immediate preparations in those brutal prisons. And the Israeli army is immediately preparing for partial withdrawal from Gaza. So Israel's seeing the height of humiliation right now, and in the developments ahead, it'll see even more humiliation. Meanwhile, it'll definitely try to show its cunning, its cleverness, and its evil nature to prevent matters from moving to the second phase, to comprehensive peace. Instead, they'll try to attack Gaza again. Obviously, it won't be that easy. They'll try their best, but you've already seen there's no victory for them, no success, nothing. None of their goals are going to be achieved. Whatever path they take, humiliation will be their destiny, and through Turkey. Hamas has said they've been giving guarantees that this will move toward comprehensive ceasefire. We'll discuss later what these guarantees are worth. But the real point is that Hamas is making everyone accountable. You're responsible. You're responsible. You're responsible. This is in front of the world. And you just saw, it's not like America brought about this ceasefire. The world's people brought about this ceasefire. So now when they attack again, is the world going to sleep? The world's still standing, and it'll come with even more pressure now. Look at what recently happened in Britain. Elderly people came out in Britain, and there was even a crackdown on them. But they said we stand with Palestine. This was a massive symbol, because when we're saying the younger generation stands with Palestine, look, the older generation that has perceived Israel in a different way. There's an Israeli narrative that got exposed through modern media. So the previous generation, the elderly generation that visits Israel, thanks to Israel's lobby and all that, they've seen Israel as right and Palestinians as wrong since childhood. So they were on the position that Israel is right. When they came out and the younger generation was already out, this was a huge symbol for those Western governments that the water's now going over their heads. So America's not going to come out and say more than this to admit they were forced to do all this. Israel cannot fight the world. So the real point, the real defeat is this. And this is why whatever Israel tries to do going forward, this is the biggest factor. Israel will fail under all circumstances. The world has stood up and Israel has been exposed. Now Trump wants Israel to be brought out of isolation. That's not so easy. The message that's gone out, it's reality that's been exposed, and Israel's not going to stop its actions. When will it ever agree to peace? So it'll reach its end anyway. And look at this news coming in. Trump's going to visit the Middle East. He's going to visit Egypt, and he might visit Israel too. And it's being discussed that on Sunday he'll address the Israeli parliament. So all these will be Trump's efforts to improve Israel's image, to bring Israel out of isolation. But this isn't going to work. He's going to visit Egypt, where Egypt's president invited him. Hamas worked very wisely here, and Turkey played a role in this, because Erdogan had met with Trump and other Arab leaders too, Qatar's prime minister, the emir of Qatar. They also convinced Hamas that there's no need to hurt this reckless person's ego. Hamas wisely handled this. Look, they didn't put forward their demands straight away. The words they used were wise. We accept, but if these things are agreed to, they could have said straight away, no, we don't accept this. These are our demands. Then we'll agree. They didn't say that. They didn't use confrontational language, and Turkey and Arab leaders played a role in this. Hamas leaders didn't go meet Trump directly. Erdogan went and met him. The emir of Qatar met him. Other leaders met him. They know how Trump thinks, what his psychology is. That's why Israeli media reported that Netanyahu was so happy after changing the plan. He said, I've trapped Hamas so much they can't get out of this. And I'm 1000% sure Hamas will straight away reject it, and my job will become easy. So this happened here. Now look at how Times of Israel is writing about Marwan Barghouti and others. Report claims Israel will free Barghouti and other top terror convicts. Look at their screams coming out. They're saying terrorists are being released, so they had to release them, right? So in this, folks, there's Marwan Barghouti, the Nelson Mandela of Palestinians, the leader of the Popular Front, Ahmad Sadat, and this has been a very popular faction. Right now, Hamas is the most popular. At one time, these guys were very popular. Ahmad Sadat is their leader. He's been sentenced to life imprisonment 46 times since 2001. And other senior Hamas members, including Ibrahim Ham, Hassan Salam, and others are being released, all for serving multiple life sentences in Israeli prisons. So 250 of these senior leaders and life sentence prisoners are being released. When Marwan Barghouti comes out, when Ahmad Sadat comes out, they have a history. All these leaders have played a major role in Palestine's struggle. During the Intifada period, the damage they inflicted on Israel, Israelis consider Ahmad Sadat the most dangerous person, the most dangerous prisoner. So when they're released and come out, and the way they'll be welcomed, just imagine what those scenes will be like. Listen to Smotrich screams and you'll get an idea. Israeli Minister Smotrich slams Gaza deal. He'll also reach his end with all the actions he's done. He's saying we should have attacked. This ceasefire shouldn't have happened. Even if it happened, we have to attack again. His screams are coming out. So they never wanted this but have been forced. Now look at what Spain has demanded. You'll see what more the world does with them. Spain has said there should be geographical connection between the West Bank and Gaza. They should be connected because there's no connection. First, connect them. Second, create a connection with East Jerusalem too, and build a port in Gaza where the world has freedom of access. Build an independent Gaza port where Israel has no occupation. The world can directly access Gaza, trade with them, and Israel has no role. Like when the flotilla was coming, it goes directly to Gaza's port. Just imagine, this is Spain's demand. Israel will never accept all this, but look at what direction the world's moving in. So many such things will come, and this colony is reaching its end. Along with this, the Gulf Council has issued a statement saying this agreement should be the beginning of a Palestinian state. Now these matters need to move toward a Palestinian state. Meanwhile, Hamas has said, Hamas took its decision along with other Palestinian resistance factions. All the other factions, this is also a big day in Palestine's struggle, because all factions have united. And let me tell you, if this entity collapses, it's not just related to Palestinians. It's related to the region, to the OIC, to all Muslim countries, and to the entire world. You'll see how peace will come to the world, to the region, how prosperity will come, how an era of happiness will begin in the Middle East and other OIC countries, because this is the entity that through wars and much else has strangled all the OIC countries in such a way and destroyed them. So when this entity collapses, and from this a new era of prosperity and peace, a golden era will begin. OIC leaders should understand this. This isn't just Palestinians matter, because they don't see themselves as just Palestinians matter. They don't see themselves as just fighting Palestinians. So we've received guarantees from Turkey. Hamas is saying there will be full implementation of this plan. And I told you these guarantees are just so they can be pointed out. You were responsible. You said this. So it can be pointed out to someone. They can be made an arbitrator in between. So when they break these guarantees, then that'll be seen. They have weapons. And Erdogan said will closely and strictly follow the implementation of the agreement and contribute. Now look, Qatar and Egypt are weak countries. Now Turkey's involvement has happened in this. This is a new factor. Turkey, which is a huge supporter of the Palestinians, its involvement has happened. So they're saying we'll be present in this and continue implementation. A joint task force is being formed of which Turkey is also a part. It'll go to Gaza and Turkey will help locate the Israeli prisoners, their remains. So these are the huge developments right now. More developments are coming. Trump's visit is expected in the next 48 hours. Along with that, Palestinian and Israeli prisoners will be released, and Trump will try to bring Israel out of isolation, improve its image, portray this as a victory. But everyone knows what the reality is, and Israel will try. Netanyahu will try to end this very quickly and start attacking again. So this is the latest situation, and there are concerns in this. But right now celebrations are happening in Gaza, and salute to those doctors, the medical staff, the paramedical staff, the rescue workers. The role they played will be written in history. The doctors who came from Britain, from Europe, from America, salute to them too. The whole world is saluting them because this was humanity's battle fought here. An evil that was destroying all principles of humanity, all dignity, all rights. That evil has been defeated. So this is all of humanity's victory. And to fight such evil, the world should make new laws so that whenever such evil dominates the world, humanity can free itself from it. Now is the time that more such laws should be made at the global level. This is the latest situation I've shared with you. Please share your thoughts.